Om Shanti. Good morning, Diamond Morning. Every day Baba teaches us, so he wants us to be intoxicated. He tells us who we are, who is teaching us, what are we going to become. Today he's telling us, don't forget the days of our childhood, which is the most intoxicating time, when we feel we just want to be with Baba. And that days he always reminds us of, so we can keep ourselves happy and move towards our destination. So today's Murli is the 9th of July 2022. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, you must only remember the one Shiv Baba. Do not remember any bodily being. Don't speak about or listen to anything wasteful, only things of knowledge. What warning does the Father give all the children? Answer. Children, since you belong to the Father, don't ever forget the days of this godly childhood. Do not perform any sinful acts. Having made a promise to Baba, never leave him. If you forget the Father, Maya will make your happiness disappear, and your intellects will then continue to be distressed. You will continue to be afraid. You will continue to perform sinful acts, and your intellects will be locked. Therefore, since you belong to Shiv Baba, you must constantly remember your childhood. And of course, what's the song today? Do not forget the days of your childhood. Om Shanti. Did you children understand the meaning of that? You children are sitting in front of Baba, and you know that you have to become his children. Why do we have to become his children? He says, in order to claim your inheritance from Brahma. You also know very clearly that you are the eternal children of the incorporeal Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. You're now sitting face to face with Baba. Because of being far away, some children forget Baba. When you see your friends, relations, and gurus, the things of this childhood are forgotten. Those who are sitting here face to face would not forget these things. We are claiming the inheritance of heaven from imperishable Shiv Baba. We are claiming the inheritance of heaven from imperishable Shiv Baba. This is a matter of great happiness. Shiv Baba has made us belong to him. Why he has made us belong to him? In order to make us into the masters of heaven once again. We were the masters, but by taking rebirth, we have become the masters of hell. So from the masters of heaven, we have become the masters of hell by taking rebirth. Once again, we are to become the masters of heaven. You understand that Shiv Baba, the one who is incorporeal, has entered this body. He gives us Srimad and says, remember me, Shiv Baba, the incorporeal. He says this to all souls because he is the liberator of all. Liberator means the bestower of salvation. He only grants salvation to human beings, not to animals. He is the liberator and the guide for human beings. He is known as the knowledgeable and blissful one. You are sitting here personally, and so your intoxication rises. Baba knows that when you children return home, you forget. Maya makes you forget. Here, you do not have any sage, holy men, or lokic relations in your intellect. You now have the parlokic relationship. Shiv Baba enters this one and gives us the inheritance of heaven. The incorporeal one definitely has to enter a corporeal one. He says, long lost and now found beloved children, you have come once again in order to receive the inheritance of heaven. You are asked, and Baba's favorite question, what question we ask, or we ask others also. What is your relationship with Shiv Baba? You say, we are his eternal children, and then we are the corporeal children of Prajapita Brahma, because we continue to take rebirth. Not all of you would be his children in your next birth. Do not forget the days of your childhood. You are the grandchildren of Shiv Baba and the children of Brahma. You've come here once again. Why have we come here once again? To claim the inheritance of heaven. You are now in hell. You are at the confluence. This is such an easy matter. Even the old women can imbibe this. Do not forget this. However, there are many who forget this as soon as they go outside. Baba says, they forget throughout the whole day. The happiness, the same happiness does not remain. Then they say, Baba, I don't know what happens. In fact, you children should have limitless happiness. The Father makes you into the masters of heaven. So what more do you need? By forgetting him, you become afraid and distressed, and you continue to perform sinful acts. So these are consequences of forgetting Baba. You become afraid, distressed, and you continue to perform sinful acts. That one, referring to Shiv Baba, is not a guru, etc., a physical guru. He is the true Father. The Father sits here and explains to the children, you belong to Shiv Baba through Brahma. This one is Baba, and that one is also Baba. Brahma Baba is Baba, Shiv Baba is also Baba. There are so many Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. Whom do you receive the inheritance from? From Shiv Baba. He is the creator of the new world. You are now sitting here personally in front of Baba. And so he would explain, children, do not perform any sinful acts. When new ones come, they are asked to make a promise. And what promise? Do not forget me. That is Shiv Baba. Maya will repeatedly make you forget. This is why the Father is explaining and warning you. All the children hear this in the Murli. They would understand that Baba is sitting in Madhuban in front of you children and explaining this in this way to them as well. You know that Maya repeatedly makes you forget this childhood and that your intellects become completely locked. When a soul experiences supersensuous joy, he becomes very happy that he has now found Baba. Baba now liberates you from all sorrow, because what title is given to Baba that he liberates us from all sorrow? Because he is the bestower of happiness. He is the liberator of all human beings. It is not that you have been taking 8.4 million births. This is not a question of hundreds of thousands of births. This is the cycle of 84 births. You understand that it was your kingdom 5,000 years ago, 3,000 years before the Christian clan started. There was heaven. No one knows how it later became hell. The Father sits here and explains clearly. There is no question of scriptures, etc. If you think that this is wrong and you have some doubt, then go away. However, Shiv Baba is your father and Brahma is also your father. Shiv Baba says, I enter the body of this Brahma, make him my child, and then adopt more children through him. I teach them and I make them into the masters of heaven. You were the masters of heaven. You're now, so what are we now from being the masters of heaven? As he said earlier, you are now the masters of hell. You see that you are sitting personally in front of the Father. We children have a right to the grandfather's property. You must definitely become pure. A soul cannot fly without becoming pure. They simply tell tall stories when they say that so-and-so has gone to the land of nirvana, or that the light merged into the infinite light. Baba says not a single one has gone home. It's not the law for anyone to go home like that. All the actors have to be present here. Until destruction starts, they have to remain present here. Souls continue to come down. The war will start when souls stop coming down. By the time your kingdom is established, everyone will have come here. The Father explains all of these things very well, but you forget. So many forget and divorce me. Good children who have sacrificed themselves to the Father used to cry when they would leave here to go to do service. However, when they went out there, they got into the company of the residents of hell, and so they forgot everything. The Father gives you a warning. What is the warning he is giving us today? As he said in the answer to the question, children, do not forget the days of this childhood. You must remember one Shiv Baba. You must not keep a photograph of any guru, etc. A photograph cannot be taken of incorporeal Shiv Baba. Baba now teaches you what he teaches us, to perform good actions. No one else can teach such good actions. You're now becoming elevated. Even if you leave your bodies, you will go and do elevated service, because it is your stage of ascent. Everything depends on each one's effort. Baba still says, you are personally sitting here face to face. You are able to remember what you listened to here, but You forget everything as soon as you go outside. There are also some who listen to wrong things and repeat them and gossip about amongst themselves. If you don't have knowledge, if they don't have knowledge, they speak about wasteful things to one another and spoil their heads. Baba has come. Why has he come? To take us back. Baba says, if you remember me, you claim a high status. This is why you should not listen to any wrong defamatory things about others. Only listen to things of knowledge. The Father is known as Heavenly God the Father, the one who establishes heaven. He is God the Father of the world. Only the incorporeal one is the Father of all human beings. You have, Baba says, you who have become Brahma Kumars and Kumaris belong to one religion. Later on, the number of religions increases. In the Golden Age, there is only the one deity religion. Everyone will be beautiful. The features of those from different religions are different. The innumerable religions will now be destroyed, and the one religion will be established. You are changing from impure to pure. Remember that your enemy, Maya, is very powerful. By listening to anything wasteful, anything other than things of knowledge, you will move away from Baba, and you will end up in the cottage of sorrow. Baba explains again and again that your business is to tell them the way to claim the inheritance from the Father. Baba has explained that you should put up a board that asks, on the board, what should be put up on the board? What is your relationship with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? The writing should be very good. People get frightened as soon as they hear the name Brahma Kumaris. So you should write with great tact. They will receive Babdada's introduction when they read the board. What we should have on the board? What is your relationship with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? Which is such a thought-provoking question. Surely an inheritance is received through the corporeal. Shiv Baba is the one who establishes heaven. Muslims speak about the one who establishes paradise. You have now become his children. Never forget such a father. So today he's saying, never forget the days of your childhood. Never forget your inheritance. Never forget who is teaching you. Now he's saying, never forget such a father. Maya is very powerful. This is why Baba says, do not forget the days of your childhood. All are children. No matter how eminent a person may be, Baba would still say to that one, Maya is your great enemy. Baba explains, do not speak of wasteful matters. You say Mama and Baba, so follow them and claim a high status. Beloved children, remember me, and your burden of sins will be removed. Otherwise, there will be great suffering. Then, at that time, you will feel it deeply. The feeling at the end is as though there is suffering over a long period of time. Souls go back when all their karmic accounts are settled. You will continue to have visions of all of that. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bapdada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say, Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharma, first point. Do not forget the days of your childhood by being influenced by bad company. Never listen to or relate to wasteful or wrong things or gossip amongst yourselves. Only speak about things of knowledge. Second point, show everyone the way to claim their inheritance from the Father. Follow Mama and Baba belief and claim a right to a high status. Remove your burden of sins by having remembrance of the Father. Baba's blessing for today. May you be a spinner of the discus of self-realization and end all your questions by keeping the knowledge of the time in your awareness. When the children who are spinners of the discus of self-realization see themselves, they automatically also see the world cycle. Those who understand the significance of the drama are constantly happy and can never have questions such as why or what, because they are benevolent in the drama, and this time is also benevolent. Those who look at themselves and become spinners of the discus of self-realization can easily move forward. And the slogan for today, to serve many souls truly, have pure and positive thoughts for others. To serve many souls truly, have pure and positive thoughts for others. Om Shanti. And the Murli continues with invaluable versions of Mateshwari Ji. And Mama says, the more attention you pay to knowledge, yoga, and dharana, the more you will continue to progress. You have to put these things in your practical lives. With the reward of this imperishable godly knowledge, you receive immortal happiness. This is called happiness of the deities. Deities had lives of happiness in a practical way. It isn't that they had studied the scriptures when they were Brahmins. They had received support directly from God, from the God of the Gita. So, could we then follow scriptures written by human beings? We are experiencing godly happiness in a practical way now. We have moved away from the world of sorrow and come into the world of happiness. That world of sorrow has now gone away. Earlier, we were in a world of happiness, which has now finished. So we then went into a world of sorrow. And we have now come into a world of happiness, where we will stay in happiness. And for how long will we stay in this happiness? For 21 births. And then not come into sorrow quickly. We will gradually come down. Sorrow will come gradually. This world of sorrow is now going to go away for all time. There now has to be supersensuous joy. And although there will be a lot of obstacles from Maya in this, those who have full faith that the old world has gone will not have the slightest trace of sorrow. If there is any trace of it, you can then understand that there is definitely some. If there is slightest trace of sorrow, is a clear indication that Mama says, then you can understand that there is definitely some forgetfulness. Mama is saying this. Only godly knowledge is not just for listening. Our godly knowledge is not just for listening to, but you have to imbibe it and bring about some difference in your life. We have found this right path now. However, do not think that you have taken God's lap and so that is enough. You cannot have full attainment by doing just that much. You have found God to show you the path of effort. You now have to walk along that path and create your godly life in a practical way. This is true happiness. Many people ask the question, since both souls and the Supreme Soul are eternal, why is God called a creator? Why is God called a father and souls the children? You can explain. Definitely the whole world believes that God is eternal. And the question cannot arise for him, which is a question that cannot arise for God. Who created God? No. In fact, souls are also eternal and imperishable. But people of the world think that souls are part of God. And so they are also God. In this way, they consider both to be eternal. This is their opinion. But we have come to know from God himself that God is our Father and that we souls are his children. And we have come to know that from God himself. So Bible says, so Mama says, first comes the Father and then the children are created. Although both are eternal, God has received the part of making his souls his children. Although both are eternal, the soul and the Supreme Soul are eternal, God has received the part of making souls his children and giving them the inheritance. We claim the inheritance of happiness, peace, and purity from the Father because souls have lost the inheritance of happiness and peace. So they have to claim it once again. Through this account, we say God, the Father, has a relationship with souls as his children. However, otherwise, God is the Father and is himself the ocean of happiness and peace. He has full knowledge. He himself is the bestower. In this way, we would also call him the Father. Since we call him the Father, there are also definitely the children. By him being called the Father, it proves that we are also the children. If it weren't for God, who would give us? Mama is saying, if it weren't for God, who would give to us? One has to give us the inheritance, etc. Since there is someone who gives, what's the next option if there is someone who gives? Mama says, in fact, there are also we who take. He gives and we take. So the parts of both are separate. Although the forms of souls and the supreme soul are the same, just the point applied in that context, God is called knowledgeable. He has received the part of creating, whereas souls are his creation. Acha. Okay. Om Shanti. So Mama is so very practical. It's applying knowledge in our everyday life. We have to imbibe. We have to remember, Baba, not forget. Because Maya is the enemy. Okay, so we're going to have the point of Abhyakti today. And the theme for this month is Karan Karavanhar. And today is Yes, My Lord. My Karan Karavanhar is the Supreme Spirit. I am an instrument who is made to do everything by Karan Karavanhar, the one who does through us, Karan Karavanhar. The Lord is ever present in every direction for me. This Spirit, in every thought, word, and action of mine. This is why I, the Spirit, am always in front of the Lord and say, Yes, my Lord. This is the specialty of the first and foremost fragrant spiritual rose. Yes, my Lord, in front of Baba, who is Karan Karavanhar. Okay, so let's practice that. Om Shanti.